Hi, I'm Kelly from Northamptonshire Fire and Rescue Service, and I'm going to show you how to work out the occupancy limit of your licensed premises. It is important to ensure that your premises is occupied safely without causing overcrowding. Calculating your occupancy is a legal requirement of both the Licensing Act 2003 and the Regulatory Reform Fire Safety Order 2005. A failure to determine and manage your occupancy in your venue can result in a licence review under the Licensing Act, which, in a worst-case scenario, can lead to your licence being revoked. The occupancy limit should also be included in your fire risk assessment. Failure to adhere to your occupancy limit, calculated and stated in your fire risk assessment, can lead to enforcement action from the fire authority. Whilst this is a legal requirement and is enforced by Northamptonshire Fire and Rescue Services Protection Team, we are here to help you and ensure that you are compliant. These legal requirements are necessary to ensure that the public are safe when they are on your premises. There are two main principles that we need to think about when calculating the maximum occupancy of a premises. The first is how many people can you safely fit inside the building, and the second is how many people can you safely get out of the building. The number of people you can fit inside the building depends on how big your building is and how you use it. Working this out will be a lot easier if you made a quick sketch of the floor layout. Start with the overall shape and measure the length and width in meters. Then multiply these to get the overall area. If you have areas which are used differently, like a seating area or the standing space 2 meters in front of a bar, then measure those separately. Take these areas away from the overall, as well as the space taken up by corridors, toilets, and storage cupboards. This is required as the spaces are being used differently, so will allow a different number of people in each area. Now we have determined the area of the main floor space after removing the bar and seating area, we can determine how many people we can fit in this space safely. We need two figures to calculate this. The first number we require is the floor area, and the second is referred to as the occupancy factor. The occupancy factor for this area is 0.5, which means that we can fit 2 people into each square metre in an assembly hall, such as a dance floor in a bar, pub or club. Now we know our occupancy factor and we know that we can fit 2 people per square metre, we multiply our floor area by 2. The other areas of the building now also need to be calculated. As mentioned before, the bar area and the seating area are used differently to the main hall or dance area. At the bar, people are more tightly packed together than on the dance floor as they are waiting to be served. The bar area is a 2 metre space around the bar that the customers will be using. The number of people per square metre is increased to 3 people per square metre. So this calculation will be the floor area within the 2 metres around the bar multiplied by 3. In the seating area, where your customers are sat at tables and in fixed seating, the number of people per square metre is reduced to 1 person per square metre. So this calculation will be your floor area in the seating area multiplied by 1. When determining the occupancy, we can disregard the corridors, toilets and storage cupboards, because these are not areas that people will spend a significant amount of time in. We would also not have to take into consideration any outdoor areas, as these do not affect your indoor occupancy figures. Although thought should be given to any outdoor events that could be affected by the weather, where customers would want to come inside and how this affects your occupancy. Now we have all our individual occupancy figures for each area, we simply add all these figures together to get the total premises occupancy. Make a note and record of this figure, as we'll be using it to compare to our exit width availability. Now we have calculated how many people the building can accommodate. The next figure we need to calculate is how many people we can get out of the building if there's a fire. This figure will depend on your exits. The first step is to draw the exits onto your plan and measure the clear widths of all of your exits. The clear width of an exit is illustrated in the images. It is the space between the frame that is clearly unobstructed. This includes any obstruction from door handles and door stops in the frame. You should also measure any internal doors that lead to an external door, such as the one highlighted, as this is part of the escape route. The number of people that a building can safely allow to exit will depend on the size and number of doors available. If you have a premises that has only one exit, then your exit capacity is 60. We can't rely on you getting more than that many people out of the building safely in the event of a fire, regardless if this is larger than a single door width. Most licensed premises will have more than one exit. When calculating the occupancy determined by exit widths, we can't know where a fire is going to start. It could be anywhere in the building. So the rule is to assume the worst case scenario. This worst case scenario is that a fire would be right in front of your biggest fire exit. If that happens, then this exit won't be available for escape. We always want to be prepared for whatever the worst case may be. So when there is more than one exit available, your largest exit is discounted. Another rule when assessing exit width and occupancy is that when two separate exits are within 45 degrees of each other, they are deemed close enough that a single fire could make them both inaccessible. So when two exits fall within 45 degrees of each other, then we count them together when working out which exit we discount for a fire. This could mean that they together are the largest exit. As we have mentioned previously, the doors that lead to final exits should be measured. If an exit door leads to a final exit door via a corridor, as seen here, then the narrowest point is the measurement for exit width. If there is a single exit door leading out to a double exit door, we will measure the single exit width as the exit width, as this is the narrowest point along the exit route and will allow for fewer amount of people to exit safely. Now look at each of your final exit door widths in turn. You should have measured each of them. If it's less than 750 mm, then it's not suitable to be a fire exit. If it's between 750 mm and 1050 mm, it can allow 100 people through. If it's 1050 mm, then it can allow 200 people through. And then every 75 mm after allows you another 15 people. Now you have determined the exit capacity for each available door, you can add them together. But don't forget that we've discounted the largest exit as this is the worst case scenario in a fire. This figure is your safe exit width capacity. Now we have both the occupancy based on the floor area and the exit width capacity. We need to compare these two figures. Whichever number is the smallest is your occupancy limit for the premises. This is the figure that you'll be required to include in both your license and fire risk assessment. Whilst you now have your occupancy limit for your premises, this figure is for your normal day-to-day running of the premises. You will also need to consider any events that you may be having, as these events could alter your occupancy factor. One example is the addition of a stage area in the dance floor area, or the addition of TV screens and more seating. These should all be thought of ahead of time and the occupancy calculated and amended as required. You should always establish the worst case scenario to ensure that all persons on your premises are able to escape safely. If you require further information, please visit our website at northantsfire.gov.uk. Here you can also utilise our occupancy calculator that can help you determine your occupancy. There are two separate calculators available for use. One to aid in determining your floor space occupancy using the floor areas as described previously. The second is to aid in determining your exit width capacity using the measurements of all your available fire exits. These calculators are there as tools to help with the maths and do rely on you completing all the necessary measurements correctly. Alternatively, you can arrange to speak to one of our fire protection officers by calling 01604 797 000 and asking to speak to one of our officers to discuss your premises occupancy, where we can offer guidance and advice. Our fire protection team cannot complete the calculations for you, but are happy to assist if necessary. And remember, this is a legal obligation under both the Licensing Act 2003 and the Fire Safety Order 2005.